to do, if you have grass, you have to cut the grass, you have to line the grass. You still have to do all the grunt work that a lot of coaches just don't want to do, in college football. So those are some of the things.
And it's, Coach, it's something that we see, right? And Dave and I discuss this all the time in terms of, and not to be the old guy, right? But back in the day, you saw a lot of younger coaches, like they had to go through all of that to work their way up to get that position coach title or that coordinator title. You see a lot of younger coaches now, they come into this and they think, oh, I should be calling plays like right away. And it's like, man, like you've never separated jerseys. You've never fixed a helmet, right? Like you've never had to bring your own stuff out to practice for what you want to use. All of that drop cards, right? The thousands of things that go on off the field that have to be in line in order to be successful or put your guys in that position to be successful. A lot of the younger guys aren't willing to do that. And I think in the JUCO ranks, like you said, you have to do that. And if you don't, you're not going to be very successful.
And I think, you can even go off a venture a little farther, in any level when it comes to being successful in this coaching industry, you have to have a strong foundation of a work ethic, because if you don't have a strong foundation of a work ethic, it's not going to last. It's kind of like the big bad wolf is going to come tumbling down sooner or later. That's and a lot of young coaches, I'm fairly young. A lot of people refer to me as a young coach myself. But a lot of young coaches, that's what they want to do. They want to be, this new modern camera in your face type coach. They want to have the shades on, the Ray-Bans and the whatever glasses on, and they want to be cool, and they don't want to put the work in that what comes to being a successful coach. A lot of things, there's just sacrifices come with coaches, just like anything else in life that comes with great sacrifices come with it. And if you're not willing to sacrifice in this coaching industry, then you're not going to be able to make it very far, because
not many of them have ever, slept in the office, right? Like they ain't doing that. That's not part of their gig. They sign up for what it is or what they think it is. And then when it really comes down to it, hey, you want to be successful? Like you have to do all of these little things that go very much unnoticed in terms of, to get your guys on point. And I just don't think that's how they're structured anymore. They think that, I should just come out. Oh, I played the game, so now I can be able to coach the game. And a lot of times that's really not the case. We see a lot of guys that were really good players, but that can't articulate or explain or ultimately teach the game to where guys understand it on a level to be successful.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it goes back to the inability to be hungry and eager to learn. I think you have to have that ability. And I think that's what separated me from a lot of coaches. I was just actually talking to a good friend of mine who's the co-DC at the University of Arkansas yesterday. Actually, last night I was talking to him about, kind of my journey and how I got to where I'm at. I was one of those guys that, after college, I didn't have a lot of connections, but I knew what I wanted to do in this college football realm of things. And I wanted to be, a college defensive coordinator. So, obviously some of the things that I did, a lot of young coaches wouldn't do. Like early on, I couldn't afford, the ability to go out and network with these coaches. I didn't have the players that'll get me in these coaches' office. So what I would have to do is I'd have to Airbnb and stay in the cheapest Airbnb, sleep. I remember one time when I went to University of Florida and I stayed with Todd. I went to visit Todd Grantham for a week. I slept in an Airbnb house for a week with a guy that I didn't even know. It could have been a complete serial killer for all I know. But it was a
Listen, there'll be a Netflix documentary about him in 2 years, buddy, and you'll be like, damn, I saw that dude was in your room. Like, shit, you got what you needed, so you're good.
Yeah, I was at that guy house, but the sacrifice that came with it, I was eager to learn. And I was like, hey, look, no excuses. I got to learn how to be a college coach. And the only way you're going to do that is to put yourself in the realm and the circle of people that are doing great things. So that was part of the sacrifice that I had to make. I had to do that often. I had to go stay in Airbnbs where I pay $30-$40 a night, and sleep next in a room with a person that I don't know who they are, but it was the cheapest thing for me, and like I said, and it paid off for me because I was able to learn how to organize and how to be structured and how to talk the language that a lot of these Division I college coaches won't.
Right.
I think that's a big part of it. And then you obviously articulate and coaching your players and be able to, relate to what they're going through. And in JUCO, you probably have to do that more than any other coach, just because it's a gap stop for a lot of players, and ultimately for them, that's not what their end destination is, but it's an in between destination for most players, and so it's an important, really really important role when players come to you to help get them to the next thing. It's the one coaching job where every coach knows that their player's goal is to go to another place, right? In high school, sometimes kids play just to play for high school. You know what I mean? They're done after high school. There are kids that want to play in college. There are different kind of goals. Obviously, college guys are 4-year guys are already there. Talk about how you have to go about really understanding each and every player and how to get the most out of them to help them understand where they got to go for their future.
I think that the ability to connect with kids is very important, and I think that's what separates me from a lot of coaches. I had a good friend of mine, Thomas Brown, who's currently with the Chicago Bears. He said a statement about 4 years ago when I met him. He said, "Coaching is what I do, is not who I am," and that stuck with me. So I think if you take that approach, and don't walk around like that's my job or whatever, even though we all know that's your job, that if you don't win or lose, that can put you at a place that you don't want to be in. But At the end of the day, we're dealing with people. And if you don't make people feel appreciated they're not going, and that you can connect with them, they're not going to play hard for you. So I think it's about building that personal relationship with each and every one of your kids. And I think that allows you to understand them. Like naturally, if I connect with you, I sit down with you and, hey, how your day going? Every time you see me, it shouldn't be, hey, why you bust in this Rip Liz match concept, or why you, whatever. When it comes to always with football, I think that allows you to, number one, connect with your players, and number two, they're gonna want to play for you and give you their all, because you're gonna show them that you actually care. So I think that's what separates me again, like from a lot of coaches, that my ability to connect with the kids.
And building off that, when they're going to go off to college and you're starting to help them from a recruiting standpoint, what kind of system do you guys have in place to really get their name out there? Because ultimately, right, when they JUCO players, almost all of them are coming there to obviously go to another destination. What do you guys have in place from a structure standpoint to try and get them out there once they get there and do the job?
I think without outbound and recruiting, the